So we just completed putting guides on the top, bottom, left, and right of the image we placed in our new Illustrator file. What we want to do next is we want to copy and paste our image 4 times. We want to do this to make sure that the repeat matches on the top, bottom, left, and right from tile to tile as we place it. So what we're going to do now is make sure we're in the regular selection tool, which your cursor should be a black arrow. If it is not, you can click V on your keyboard, or you can go to the top left of your screen on your toolbar and click the black arrow icon that is the selection tool icon. We're going to go over to our image, and with our mouse we're going to click on our image, and it's going to highlight because we've selected it. So we're going to copy and paste this. You're either going to use Control C or Command C to copy it, depending on if you're using a Mac or PC. You're going to use Control V or Command V to paste it, just depending on if you're using a Mac or a PC again. So the Mac's going to use the Command plus the letter, and the PC is going to use Control plus the letter to do these commands. So let's go ahead and copy this and paste it. We're going to paste it 4 times. Now if you just hit Control or Command V 4 times, you're going to end up placing the image on top of the image, on top of the image, on top of the image, each time it copies. So we should have placed this 4 times. We're going to move these, click on them, and move, click and drag to move, click and drag to move. We have one more, click and drag to move that one. And now we're going to place one at each location or each side of this image of our artwork tile. So the top one, we'll click, hold, and drag, and we just want to make sure it's aligned so it's with our guides. And you can see you get a line that is green that shows an XY axis. It's like a cross, but then you see the word intersect. That's letting you know that your actual image on top is centered with the image below it. And then in addition to that, it's intersecting the line on the bottom of your top image with the line on the top of the image below it. So if you get that on your screen, release your mouse, and then it'll click right to it. We're going to do the same with the other 3. We're going to click on our image to select it, hold and drag, and we're going to try to align those as best as we can. Okay. So we're good there. If you look at the top image, it does look off right now. So we're going to click and drag that one again because it's not correct. We're going to click and drag again. Now it's where it needs to be. So we're going to move our bottom image to butt up against the image in the center so we can get a pattern match. We're going to click and hold and drag. Just align that by moving your mouse, making sure it says intersect, and then release. Click on the other image you've copied and drag and align that one. So we can see that we have a good pattern repeat on here. What's on the left side of our tile matches what's on the right side to create a shape. And also what's on the top of our tile also matches what's on the bottom of our tile to complete these shapes for the pattern repeat. Once you have that, you can leave these how they are, or you can get rid of them. I would get rid of them because we only really need to trace one of these tiles. This is just showing us that our repeat does match, so we can go ahead and move forward with what we need to do in regards to tracing and coloring our file. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and delete these. You can select all the ones you need to delete by holding down Shift as you use your mouse along with the selection tool, the regular selection tool, to click on the ones you can want to get rid of. So hold down Shift as you go through that. Then hit delete on your keyboard and it'll get rid of all those. So everything looks great. Now what we're going to do to help us while we trace is we're going to go ahead and place some guidelines at these locations here that are supposed to line up in order for the pattern match to occur. So we're going to go to the top of our ruler with our cursor. We're still in the regular selection tool with the black arrow. We're going to click on our ruler and hold and drag down one of our guides. Now you'll see here that, I can't really tell where I'm at exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and release our mouse, but we're gonna zoom into this. We're gonna hold down Alt and zoom in. Okay, so you can see I'm not in the proper location. However, we can move this guide. So we can right click and we could hit lock guides, which is checked. So the guides are locked right now. If we click on this again, it will unlock the guides. Now we can actually click on this guide and move it. Click and hold. So we want to get this about central to this line here that comes to the left side of our tile. Okay? We're going to scroll down. We're going to look for any other ones on the left side. So we're going to get our ruler again. Click and hold at the top of your ruler. Bring it down to where this line intersects and touches your boundary from tile to tile. Get about center and release. Now we're going to go over to the bottom. We can see we have certain areas here of the lines that actually intersect the boundary of our pattern repeat. So we're going to use the left side ruler here and click and hold and drag, and then we're going to center up our guideline on that line that intersects with that boundary. We're going to continue doing that on all four sides of the pattern repeat. You'll see if we've done that on two sides that really, if you've done one on the top or the bottom or one on the left or the right, it should be complete for you. We have another to do on the bottom here. Move that about central to that line. Keep moving over. Got one there, right? Now if we look at the right side of our image, we can see that the boundary line, the guideline that we made on the left side automatically touches the right side. So we're going to zoom out and just check that on each side of our tile, there's a guideline that actually sits on the line that touches the boundary of our tile. So this one's good, this one's good, this one's good. That looks great, that looks great, that looks great. Great. Oh, not that one. That one's great, that one's great, that one. Now these are not great, right? So we miss those down here. Or actually we have them. There's one here, one here. So that's good, that's good, that's good, and that's good. So everything looks great. So just double check that you have completed this with your guidelines, that on all sides where a line is interrupted by the boundary or comes to the edge of that boundary, where it intersects, that there's a guide that is actually placed there that coordinates with one to the bottom in this case, or one from the left to the right. So what's going to help us out is when we use our pen tool, we can actually use our pen tool to start and stop at a point of intersection, because you have a boundary of guidelines that frames in your image, and then you have guidelines that will actually show you where your point is for the lines that intersect your boundary of your pattern repeat. So if you look here, if I roll over any of these, you'll see there's an intersection at all these places. Intersection, intersection, intersection. So once you take your pen tool and you put that down, you'll be able to then see that it says intersection and lay your tool down. So we're going to go ahead and use the pen tool for one moment here. We're going to click on it. And right now, if you look in this left-hand corner, we don't have a color to it. We have this strike through. So we're going to double click this and make it a color. We're going to make it red. Okay? We want to make it a different color because we're going to be drawing over this black line and want to be able to see it. So if I'm in my pen tool, a regular pen tool, you can see that I can put it in a location that says intersect. So we'll zoom in. And then you'll see our point can lay at the intersection, the start point of our pen. If we click down there to lay a point, and we click another point and hold, you can actually change the curve of that. And right now you don't see any line there, and that's because for some reason our stroke is not the right color. So we're going to double click that again, try to get it to red, and hit OK. Now we have our line as a red line, which a line is also called a stroke. Lay another point down, and you can see we're now continuing with the red line as the stroke. So this allows you to actually start your starting point of your shape that's going to connect from the left side of your tile to the right side of your tile, started at the same point. So that way everything matches up as you're drawing.